आजकल क्योंकि बहुत ग्लैमराइज किया जाता है ना ड्रॉप आउट ये वो, बट बहुत लाइक एक चुनिंदा परसेंटेज ही है जो एक्चुअली में ड्रॉप आउट करके सक्सेसफुल हो रही है. सो एजुकेशन इज इम्पोर्टेंट.
तो मतलब इसका बहुत सिंपल लॉजिक ये है कि आप हार्वर्ड जाके या आईएम जाके ड्रॉप आउट कर सकते हो, पर आपकी औकात थी कि आप हार्वर्ड या आईएम पहुंच पाए, उसके बाद आपने ड्रॉप आउट किया. स्पेशली मतलब मैं तो हमेशा ये बोलती हूँ कि आप अंडरग्रेड अगर अच्छे कॉलेज से करते हो तो आपको जो एक्सपोजर मिलता है, जिस टाइप की टीचर्स मिलते हैं, जो कॉस्मो क्राउड मिलता है, इट बिल्ड्स योर पर्सनालिटी.
So if you were to give advice to a young student out there who's planning to build his business, let's say in logistics, what would you say that this is how you build a business in logistics in India 2023? What is that one thing you wish you knew before getting into entrepreneurship? Do you face any problems as a female entrepreneur?
घोड़े की जो वो होता है वैसा लगाओ और काम करते रहो. तुमको एकदम झांसी की रानी नहीं बनना है, लड़ाई नहीं करनी है, काम करना है. इसलिए मार्केट है, टकराओगे, रिश्ते बना के रखो, सही से करो. किसी को तुमसे नहीं सुनना है, किसी और सुने, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Just get the shit done. That's it. This is what my papa says. वक्त है, गुजर जाएगा, रास्ते से रास्ता निकल जाएगा.
नमस्ते एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द क्यूरियस पॉडकास्ट, जहां हम करियर रिलेटेड पॉडकास्ट करते हैं. आज की गेस्ट है निकिता महेश्वरी. शी इज द co-founder of Tatkalorry and Tile Bazaar. Tatkalorry is niche logistics and supply chain management company operating primarily in the ceramics and construction material industry. आसान भाषा में बताऊं तो सामान एक जगह से लोड करके दूसरी जगह पहुंचाते हैं, और वो सामान तत्काल लॉरी के केस में सेरेमिक्स एंड कंस्ट्रक्शन मटेरियल है. और इस पॉडकास्ट में हम उनकी एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप जर्नी के बारे में जानेंगे और उनसे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट लेसन्स भी लेंगे. तो जिन लोगों को एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है या बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है तो ये पॉडकास्ट बहुत जरूरी है और एंड तक देखना बहुत इंसाइटफुल है. निकिता इज वेरी रॉ, शी इज वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड एंड ब्रूटल. सो लेट्स गेट राइट इन. नमस्ते एवरीवन, वेलकम निकिता दी. सो निकिता दी, सबसे पहले आप मुझे ये बताइए कि तत्काल लॉरी क्या है. लेट्स वार्म अप आवर ऑडियंस अबाउट तत्काल लॉरी एंड लेट्स गेट इनटू इट.
Alright, so hi everyone, I'm Nikita Maheshwari. मैं पूजा की senior हूँ from ETII, and so I'll tell you a little bit about my startup, Tatkalorry Private Limited. Tatkalorry is a niche logistics and supply chain management company in the field of ceramic tiles and sanitary. To put it very simply, we are courier service tiles or sanitary के लिए. So let me put down some important facts here. India is the second largest producer of tiles in the world. 85% of it is produced in this small town called Morbi, which is near Rajkot in Gujarat. And so मैं वहां से ले जाकर tiles, I distribute it into the 13 cities I work in, and I do sampling into another 34 cities currently. हम सिर्फ टाइल्स का मूवमेंट करते हैं और हम सिर्फ उसका फ्रेट चार्ज करते हैं, यानी कि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चार्ज करते हैं. ना मैं टाइल खरीदती हूँ, ना मैं टाइल बेचती हूँ, मैं सिर्फ कुरियर सर्विस हूँ. सो दैट्स लिटिल बिट अबाउट तत्कालॉरी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड.
सो व्हेन डिड यू स्टार्ट एंड अभी किस स्टेज पे है Tatkalorry?
All right. So we started in 2016, which was a failure, which was the result of the failure of my first company, tilebazaar.com. Tilebazaar.com was trying to be an Amazon of tiles and sanitary. It did not work out for multiple reasons. One of them, and primarily being because for Amazon, you need Shadow Fox or delivery or e-card. टाइल इंडस्ट्री में ऐसा कोई पर्टिकुलर मूवमेंट करने वाला नहीं था, एंड दैट इज व्हाई टाइल बाजार फेल्ड. एंड सो बिकॉज आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ रिसर्च ऑन माय हैंड एंड आई वाज वेरी कंसर्न्ड अबाउट कि मैं इस रिसर्च का क्या करूंगी. एंड दैट इज व्हेन आई रियलाइज कि ऑल राइट, अगर ये प्रॉब्लम मुझे हुई है तो ये प्रॉब्लम शायद बहुत लोग को हो रही होगी. And that is how Tatkalorry was born in the year 2016. We're currently at growth stage. We survived the COVID winter, which is, thank God, we survived it with losses, but we did survive it. And now we're moving towards growth and breaking even.
Chalo, all the best. I have a lot of questions about logistics as an industry and how to get started in this. But मुझे उससे पहले ये पूछना है, what made you get into entrepreneurship? Like even after studying law, तो आपने law करा है and अच्छी university से करा है, and I believe you would have gotten good packages after completing law. Then why entrepreneurship?
Right. So I am a graduate from Gujarat National Law University, which is, you very rightly said, we are, I think, top fourth of the country currently. And so I graduated from there in 2015. मुझे लॉ दो रीजन से परस्यू नहीं करना था. One was when I was in the law school, I realized that मेरी skills ज़्यादा management और operations की तरफ है. And this was at an early age of like 2021 that I realized this. And that is when I decided to go into entrepreneurship, because I also do not have the temperament to do a corporate job. So I identified my strengths and weaknesses, and uske around मैंने I centered my career path. So I always say this, that you should choose the next best thing that you know. After studying law, the next best thing I knew was tiles, primarily because I come from tiles background. My father was a brand consultant in the tile industry for almost 20-25 years. He was at one point in time vice president of Somani Tiles.
Oh.
So for me it was growing up around tiles, और मुझे बहुत easy रहता था टाइल्स को समझना, और वो मेरे लिए नेक्स्ट बेस्ट थिंग था. तो इसलिए आई चोज टाइल एज एन इंडस्ट्री, और wanted to go in entrepreneurship. Another very स्टूपिड रीजन है ये, इस वजह से entrepreneurship नहीं करनी चाहिए. मुझे लगता था कि पर्सनल एजेंडाज बहुत थे कि आई वांट टू बी समथिंग, आई शुड हैव the I was so much more when I was 22, and I felt कि यार Nikita Maheshwari का कुछ होना चाहिए, right? Which was, to be very honest, and to all the listeners who are listening to this, understand that entrepreneurship is not about an I. It's about a we. It's about how you take a team ahead. It's about how you build a community. It's about how you grow your organization and its people to the next level, and you provide them with culture. So बहुत लोगों की जिम्मेदारी आप पे आ जाती है when you do entrepreneurship. It cannot be a solo game. So ये बचकाने थॉट्स से मैंने entrepreneurship शुरू किया था कि मुझे किसी के ऑर्डर नहीं लेने, या मुझे मेरा वजूद ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. But that has transformed into an entirely different motive now, and I've understood that entrepreneurship is more about we. It cannot be about an I, and you cannot choose entrepreneurship because you don't want to take orders from someone, because believe me, entrepreneurship comes with a lot more orders than you can think about, right?
And you have to take full responsibility of all those orders.
Absolutely. You feel ki nahi, I'll be your boss. No, you're boss of your own organization. Your organization is an artificial entity. It's an artificial person who will give you orders ki this is what is best for me. Choose this path. This is how we should go ahead.
Yeah,
so what stupid reasons they at 22 to choose entrepreneurship. They've changed now. Please don't take decisions like that.
There's so much wisdom actually in this just under 1 minute. And I can totally see how you have transformed as a leader, because we've met almost 4 years ago, and I personally am seeing this leadership growth in you. So that's really impressive.
Thank you.
Okay, so now that you have told us that कि law की degree में जो है मेरे को समझ आ गया था, मेरा style थोड़ा working style जो है, it's more management and people oriented. So do you feel that the law degree has helped you in setting up the business or bringing it to a level where it is today?
Yes, absolutely. But I would like to share two things. So because of the college that I was in, it gave me ample opportunity and exposure to work in committees, work with the government, work with private organizations in the government. तो उसमें मेरी सॉफ्ट स्किल्स बहुत डेवलप हो गई थी. ऑपरेशंस कैसे लीड करते हैं, कमिटी कैसे बिल्ड करते हैं, टीम कैसे मैनेज करते हैं, डेटा कैसे रखते हैं. एंड लॉ में आपको बहुत रिसर्च सिखाया जाता है. योर प्लेन्स एंड काफी सारी चीजें आर बेस्ड ऑन अ लॉट ऑफ रिसर्च. सो दोज आर द सॉफ्ट स्किल्स दैट law school taught me that were absolutely very important while you build an organization, especially research बहुत जरूरी होती है, man management बहुत जरूरी होता है, committee build करना, recruiting, all of those things are extremely important when you're building an organization. So the law school taught me all of these things, and it was we understood that कि आपको कुछ भी दिया जाए तो उसको रिव्यू करो thoroughly, उसको रीरीड करो, उसमें चेंजेस लेके आओ, and then move ahead. So all of these things play a huge important role. These are called due diligences, जो कि बाद में काम करता है. And of course, it gives you a really excellent community to help you with your contracts, reviewing the contracts when you go with bigger organizations, building your employment contracts and MOUs, and so many other things, right? So perspective बहुत मिलता है आपका law के network से. So the network also helped me a lot. So yeah.
सो भाई करनी चाहिए, मतलब एजुकेशन को जो है आजकल क्योंकि बहुत ग्लैमराइज किया जाता है ना, ड्रॉप आउट ये वो, बट बहुत लाइक एक चुनिंदा परसेंटेज ही है जो एक्चुअली में ड्रॉप आउट करके सक्सेसफुल हो रही है. सो एजुकेशन इज इम्पोर्टेंट.
तो मतलब इसका बहुत सिंपल लॉजिक ये है कि आप हार्वर्ड जाके या आईएम जाके ड्रॉप आउट कर सकते हो, पर आपकी औकात थी कि आप हार्वर्ड या आईएम पहुंच पाए, उसके बाद आपने ड्रॉप आउट किया. दैट इज अंडरस्टूड. बट एजुकेशन एज अ होल, योर अंडरग्रेड स्पेशली, मतलब मैं तो हमेशा ये बोलती हूँ कि आप अंडरग्रेड अगर अच्छे कॉलेज से करते हो तो आपको जो एक्सपोजर मिलता है, जिस टाइप के टीचर्स मिलते हैं, जो कॉस्मो क्राउड मिलता है, it builds your personality. So if you look at it, all the things that I mentioned that I learned in law school are all soft skills, which are extremely important in your career in the early 20s and the late 20s to place you in the place where you want to be in your early 30s.
Right? Could you enlist a few soft skills that you feel are very important in any business that you do?
So one of them being communication. Clear cut written communication has to be there. The second thing has to be there is controlling your temperament.
Okay.
हर काम एक ही तरीके से नहीं हो सकता है. हर लेवल पे आपको उनके तरीके से जाकर समझाना पड़ेगा, सिखाना पड़ेगा. एंड लास्ट, you have to be an excellent teacher while being an excellent student. So it's a continuous process of learning and teaching and learning and teaching, and you have to keep your ego aside and be like कि नहीं मैं सीखूंगी या मैं सीखूंगा और मैं आगे लेके जाऊंगा चीजें.
वो मीम याद है आपको? There was this photo that was doing rounds on maybe Twitter. So this person gives himself an award for being the like employee, and he's the only employee, he's the starter, and he's giving himself the best employee award. So you rightly mentioned that first of all वो student वाला अगर temperament नहीं होगा तो नई चीजें, because logistics या कोई भी industry for that matter, it's so evolving, and today's time, if you're not learning, you are going to be out of business really soon.
Yeah, because it is also continuous process of unlearning also things. So जो पढ़ा है वो एकदम सेम टू सेम एग्जीक्यूट नहीं हो पाता है, राइट? तो उसको थोड़ा अनलर्न करके, आपका इंडस्ट्री विजडम ऐड करके, समझ कर उसको थोड़ा उस पर्सपेक्टिव और उस जो सिचुएशनशिप है ना बिजनेस की, उस हिसाब से एग्जीक्यूट करना बहुत जरूरी होता है, वरना रायता फैल जाएगा, कोई मतलब नहीं होता है फिर.
So a very interesting question here. You would have pursued many ideas, but like you told me, कि tiles के साथ थोड़ा सा comfort था. You were sort of brought up around tiles industry. But deciding that doing logistics, taking logistics as the stream of business that you want to get into, especially when it's such a male-dominated society. I think you're the second woman that I know who is in the logistics business. So and also there is somewhat negative connotation attached to this industry, because my dad is also from the logistics industry, luckily. So whenever I tell him that I want to help you out, I mean, it was back when I was in my when I was 21 or 22, so I don't maybe I can help you out. So it's like इतना पढ़ लिख के logistics में नहीं जाते, because it's such a fragmented market, and people sort of in some way they kind of look down upon this industry. So how did you decide that okay, this is the industry, this fragmented industry kind of business is something that I want to get into?
Right. So do you remember, like, I think few minutes back I said कि यार मुझे बहुत वाला था syndrome. That also worked in my favor because I wanted to create an impact. राइट एंड बिकॉज वो था कि मेरा वजूद क्या, मेरा कैसे. तो मेरा वजूद तो तभी बनेगा जब आप इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करोगे. सो दैट वाज वन रीजन. ओके, द सेकंड एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वाज that I had too much research on my hand to let it go to waste. And I was very clear to not make the mistakes that I made in Tile Bazaar. So this time I was also very sure to go ahead and ask my father to help us find partners who are from the industry and who had knowledge. Because at 22, I did not have any knowledge about logistics. वो भी tile specific logistics तो impossible thought था. Right? So we, Shikhar and I, my then co-founder, my brother, we decided that we have too much information on our hand to let it go to waste. So one was that. The second was wanting to bring about. So the idea of Tile Bazaar was also to create an impact on the industry and bring a behavioral change. कि tiles online खरीदो, right? Similarly, Tatkalorry was trying to solve a problem for its stakeholders, helping them get the tiles immediately without damage and at a fixed cost price. And that is why the main reason to get into it was कि मुझे impact create करना है. And that should be a very strong driving force. अगर आप में वो जुनून नहीं होगा, so it's very difficult to continue the journey of resilience that entrepreneurship needs for you to move ahead. Okay. Now, I'll come back to the topic wherein कि भाई research क्यों इतना important है और research कैसे कर सकते हैं, right? So, research का मतलब होता है to take an informed decision and to search something that already exists. Okay. Right. Now, when I was building tilebazaar.com, it started as a B2C concept, but I forgot that it is tile, it's an investment, it's not a cloth that you can buy and just think, thinking, it's okay. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Return policy में भी चल जाएगा. But tile ऐसा नहीं है. Tile में touch and feel बहुत important है, and it's so costly and it comes in variety of sizes. So it definitely couldn't work B2C. So then it had to be figured out, okay, B2B. And that is when we went to wholesalers and retailers and spoke to them and understood their problems and कि कहाँ issues आ रहे हैं, कैसे solve कर सकते हैं. So one of the problems that came out was कि wholesalers and retailers को price transparency नहीं थी. And for them, it was very difficult to move material from Morbi till whichever city they were in. So my research was centered around Bangalore, Bombay, and Ahmedabad, right? And that is what I'm talking about, primary research. कि मैं जाके 500 लोगों से मिली थी, मैंने उनसे इनपुट लिया था मार्केट से कि आपको क्या तकलीफ है, कैसा है. And that is when जब वो रिसर्च मेरे हाथ में था कि उनको प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि प्राइस ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है, डिलीवरी का टाइम फिक्स नहीं होता है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन फ्लक्चुएट होता रहता है बिकॉज इट्स अ फ्रेजाइल एंड ब्रिटल मटेरियल, डैमेज बहुत होता है. So I had formed this questionnaire wherein these people have to answer, and उस डेटा को कंसाइज करके we understood कि ओ ये कॉमन प्रॉब्लम्स है, right? And if I solved this problem, they were ready to pay me for that. They're ready to pay me for the time and convenience that I give them. Right? And that is what came out after meeting 500 people for Tile Bazaar and Tatkalorry, and combining that research and putting it into an idea to see if it is a product market fit. Right? It was not my thought. Like Tile Bazaar was my thought. कि मुझे लगता है टाइल ऑनलाइन बिकना चाहिए. Tatkalorry was an actual product market fit that we understood. Correct. And we read about it, and we researched about it, and we spoke about it, and we reiterated the idea at least for 3 to 4 months for it to go live. And so that is how research plays an extremely important role in figuring out the product market fit. right? And that is how Tatkalorry went ahead, and how anyone should go about when they're starting out and building a product, right? So yeah.
मतलब मैं यही बोलने वाली थी, द बेस्ट थिंग, आई मीन अभी हाइंडसाइट में ऐसा नहीं लगता कि यार टॉकिंग टू दोज पीपल हु वर गोइंग टू बी प्रोस्पेक्टिव यूजर्स ऑफ आवर सर्विस वाज द बेस्ट थिंग दैट आई कुड हैव डन, बिकॉज उससे पता चल गया कि हाँ यार जो चीज मैं क्रिएट करना चाह रही हूँ उसकी एक्चुअली में डिमांड है, लोग सर्विस वो यूज करना चाहेंगे.
एब्सोल्युटली. सो बिजनेस का पहला रूल ये होता है कि आप कितना, अगर लोग ये बोलते हैं कि यार आप पहले हम फ्री में दे देंगे फिर आदत लग जाएगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है. अगर किसी को जरूरत नहीं है तो वो फ्री में क्या, वो पैसे देकर तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं करेगा, फ्री में भी नहीं यूज करेगा, राइट? सो माय कस्टमर्स, माय करंट कस्टमर्स who were then potential customers needed us. They wanted us to create something like this so that they could save their time, energy and money and actually focus on selling tile instead of managing the logistics of tiles. And that is why they were ready to pay to me. Right? And so again, you said the very right thing, that people should be willing to pay you for the product that you're bringing to the market. Otherwise, it's not the correct product market fit. It's not going to be a business. It can be something, but it's definitely not going to be business in the long run.
Right. And in fact, short run में तो कोई possibility नहीं है, because you can just tell people to try it out. Maybe it will work, maybe it will not.
Yeah.
There have been services which were like, जैसे वो था ना कि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का जो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, राइट, वो फ्री में ही सबको दिया जा रहा था, बट नाउ इट्स पेड, राइट, यू हैव टू पे फॉर द लाइसेंस. सो तब मार्केट में ये रूमर था कि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट जो फ्री में सबको दे रहा है वो खुद से ही दे रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लाइसेंस जो है वो चीट ब्रेक करके या फिर कुछ कोड क्रैक, क्या बोलते हैं उसे, क्रैक करके जो है यूज हो रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है. दे deliberately wanted people to use it so that they get accustomed to it. And then yeah.
But see, that is the thing. Even if you look at Zomato, it never charged you for delivery, but now it does.
Now it does.
Right? Because, and why do you use Zomato? You use because it saves you the time and convenience of dressing up and going out and having dinner, while you can eat from the comfort of your own home. So what did it give you? It saved you time of traveling. It gave you the convenience of eating any food. If you want to have a burger from McD, while you want to have momos from a particular joint, you can have multiple variety of food at one place. So it solves three problems: that of variety, time, and convenience, right? And when you solve these three problems, anyone will pay any amount. अगर मुझे craving है, and if I sit in Ahmedabad and I'm ordering for some far corner of Ahmedabad, I'll pay extra $120 for my delivery, because मैं जाती तो भी उतना ही खर्चा होता, right? So वही है, product market fit, and people should be willing to pay for it, and they will be willing to pay for it if you provide them with the convenience or luxury value, yeah, price benefit, or anything on these lines. But there has to be an out and out benefit to your customer. B2B, B2C, D2C, everything, anything.
Absolutely. Out of curiosity, do you own fleet?
No. We wanted to keep an asset-light model.
Okay, so you hire and then arrange the logistics for your.
So I have one, but it's not a fleet. I did that on a trial run so that I understand if I should buy the fleet or not, right? And from that I concluded that I'm not going to buy the fleet.
And it's so easy. I mean, comparatively, logistics in itself is not easy, but in comparison, because owning the fleet entirely and managing
it's a task.
It's a task.
It's a task. I can't do that. I don't want to do that.
Maybe in the long run.
Depending on how much value will it add to the business, and depending on the capital investment I want to do. But it will absolutely be a strategic decision if I do it in future.
So if you were to give advice to a young student out there who's planning to build his business, let's just say in logistics, what would you say that this is how you build a business in logistics in India 2023?
Okay. So one thing, when you are entering the market, keep your ego aside. You cannot be like, ये तो ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. No,
Hmm.
you're going to work with blue collar people,
Hmm.
understand their pain points, understand their issues. ठीक है? If
Hmm.
you can't do that, they will not be wanting to work with you.
Hmm.
The second thing is they are very really cut to cut wage earners.
Hmm.
So if you really want to get them to work with you, if you don't come from that background, it's extremely important how do you add value in
Okay.
and that to monetary value to their livelihood. That's it.
Hmm.
Are you uh, how will you upgrade their lifestyle in terms of कि अगर वो तुम्हारे साथ 3 साल टिक के काम करता है तो
Hmm.
वो क्या क्या है versus क्या हो जाएगा,
Hmm.
right? And last but not the least, you need to have a very, very fluent cash flow. क्योंकि
Okay.
जितना ज्यादा इसमें इंडस्ट्री में बोलते हैं कैश में काम होता है, दैट बेसिकली मीन्स कि आपको एडवांस पेमेंट करना पड़ता है ट्रक वालों को. So that is where you save money and you can work faster and easier. Logistics industry works a lot on how you do your cash payment. And last but not least, keep your documentation really, really strong because the industry is very rudimentary, extremely rudimentary. So if you think they work like professionals outside India, they don't. So you would want to safeguard yourself with your documentations,
Hmm.
so that you are not in problem or
Hmm.
in a soup a few days down the line.
Hmm.
Um, and keep a broker in between initially at least.
Hmm. Hmm.
Someone who can take responsibility of the other person.
One point that I'd like to add here, since my father is into
Yeah.
logistics business, so that's why I can share. So, though because my father was not always the businessman. He started like couple of years ago only, and he was able to back the client because the payment terms were very flexible. So जैसे आपने बोला कि advance में pay करना रहता है truck वालों को, but he's playing on this game that he's giving credit, so which makes the burden of maintaining that working capital for day to day business activities is so much pressurizing. So
Because so what you're talking about is the customer side. That
हाँ
is to win the customer, ठीक है.
हाँ
But आपका supplier side को आप नहीं कर सकते हो. उनके साथ आपको एडवांस में ही काम करना पड़ता है,
हाँ.
right? And that is where I also mentioned you'll have to have an extensive cash flow.
हम्म.
बिकॉज आपका पैसा कस्टमर साइड से शायद 30 दिन में आए या 60 दिन में आए, लेकिन आपको ड्राइवर को पेमेंट करना रहेगा एडवांस
Correct.
प्लस विद इन 7 days. एंड दैट इज व्हाई यू नीड टू हैव एन एक्सटेंसिव कैश फ्लो. लाइक तुम्हारे पास पैसा होना चाहिए बैंक अकाउंट में ताकि तुम कर पाओ. ये बिजनेस ऐसा नहीं है कि एडवांस आया एडवांस दे दे, नहीं, वहां एडवांस जाएगा, यहाँ से क्रेडिट पे आएगा.
हम्म.
तो अच्छा खासा कैश फ्लो हो तो ज्यादा बेहतर रहेगा.
राइट. थोड़ा सा फिलोसफिकल क्वेश्चन मेरे को बात करते करते लगा कि पूछना चाहिए. आपने जैसे बोला कि यू हैव टू कीप योर ईगो असाइड व्हेन यू वर स्टार्टिंग आउट. द आई वाज बिग दैट यू वांटेड टू प्रूव योरसेल्फ, but at the same time you're saying that from I hit has now transformed to we,
Yeah.
and this journey must have been very challenging. But don't you think having that powerful eye, having that that beautiful personification of maybe a grandeur version of yours, it sort of helps you to actually put in extra efforts which you might have not done it otherwise?
यस, आई एग्री टू दैट. वो आई हमेशा रहता है, ऐसा नहीं है
Hmm.
कि वो एकदम डिसॉल्व हो जाता है. ऑफ कोर्स यू डूइंग अ बिजनेस सो दैट यू कैन गेट द नेम एंड द फेम
Hmm.
and the money out of it. I'm not denying that.
Hmm.
But it dissolves in a way that you also start looking out for other people. You
Hmm.
cannot be like कि नहीं सिर्फ मैं, मेरा नहीं हो पाता है.
Hmm.
आप
Right.
बिजनेस कर रहे हो तो आपको सबका साथ लेके चलना पड़ेगा. Eventually, of course, sir, it is your name on the line. If the business does well, you will get the grandeur and everything.
Hmm.
बट तुम ये नहीं सोच सकते हो कि सब मैं कर लूंगा, सब मुझे करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
ग्रोथ लेना है तो आपको टीम बिल्ड करनी पड़ेगी, उसमें मैन मैनेजमेंट करना ही पड़ेगा. If you don't draw that line as a promoter, you will not be able to take it to the next stage also. Your I has to dissolve in a way that it becomes a we and the organization name reaches the place it should be. So today, even if Nikita Maheshwari is not the highlight of Tatkalorry is the highlight.
Yeah.
Right? So in that way, I is aside and Tatkalorry has the grandeur and everything that should be deserving, should be Tatkalorry, not Nikita Maheshwari. And that's what I meant to dissolve your ego.
But yeah, the fact still remains the same. I mean, just another perspective that it's Nikita and her partners who built this, right? So obviously, you're always going to keep that as fundamental. That okay, we're the pillars on which Tatkalorry stands today.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. What is that one thing you wish you knew before getting into entrepreneurship?
कि accounts बहुत important होता है, मतलब हलवा नहीं है. A good accountant and a good marketer will save you so much pain you cannot imagine. So please, like bottom line hai, hire an excellent accountant, an excellent CA, so that your documentation are in place. And a good accountancy will save you so much money you cannot imagine. Secondly, an excellent marketer, because वही revenue drive करेंगे and they will set the tone of the business. Because एक बार वो गलत tone set हो जाती है ना, तो उसको rectify करने में बहुत time लगता है, बहुत time, years. Right? So yeah, I wish I knew these two things.
Do you face any problems as a female entrepreneur?
All of us do. It's like the byproduct of being a female. So all right. यार वो रहने वाला है because this is a society and it's difficult especially a particular class of people to take orders from a woman, but then as an entrepreneur your goal has to be that the work should get done, no matter how, no matter where, no matter when, just get the work done, right? So मुझे initially problem होती थी, but I was very clear कि I want to get the work done. It doesn't matter, I'll get the work done through someone. Right? So there's of course that problem, and of course there are problems where you're not taken seriously because you're young, you're a girl, you lack experience, and people will also not be able to trust you because you have a very bubbly or a cute looking persona and they'll be like, excuse me. But yeah, so allow your work to speak. Do not take things personally. Let numbers speak. And they speak.
They do.
They do. So don't worry about. So this is also where your eye gets dissolved, right?
Yeah.
And so do not worry about it. एक टक होके घोड़े की जो वो होता है वैसा लगाओ और काम करते रहो. तुमको एकदम झांसी की रानी नहीं बनना है, लड़ाई नहीं करनी है, काम करना है. इसलिए मार्केट है, टकराओगे, रिश्ते बना के रखो, सही से करो, किसी को तुमसे नहीं सुनना है, किसी और सुने, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Just get the shit done. That's it. That's it. Epic shit. Do epic shit. And get it done at the end of the day. And that's about it. Problems are going to be there. Like it might get a bit difficult for us, but I think problems just stay there for everyone. So yeah.
But it's such a beautiful thought. It's so powerful actually. Just get shit done, man. Like
हाँ, मतलब कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
Nothing else is
काम बोलेगा. Believe me when I say that your numbers, if you truly invested in it, your numbers will speak. And if you haven't, and then you understand that you haven't, so get your shit together and start working again.
Yeah.
Simple है. मचाना है जिंदगी में तो मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी.
Absolutely. बिल्कुल सही बोल रहे हो.
हाँ.
So logistics ka business is based on a lot of connections. So how can one build a network and get clients in this logistics business?
Right. So logistics काफी बड़ा industry है. And in every industry logistics is needed. Right. So अगर आप logistics में घुसना चाहते हैं तो पहला तो keep it one simple point कि भाई आप उसका product market fit देख लीजिए कि भाई जो लॉजिस्टिक्स आप सोच रहे हैं, क्या उसका प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट है कि नहीं, और क्या वो प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट जेनरिक है, उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया के लिए है, या वो स्केलेबल है, राइट? सो से बनारस में पोर्टर अगर नहीं है,
ओके,
राइट, सो मे बी तुमने पोर्टर जैसा कुछ शुरू कर लिया बनारस में, वो चल जाएगा, बट वो स्केलेबल इसलिए नहीं होगा क्योंकि लखनऊ में पोर्टर होगा और
हाँ,
आगरा में पोर्टर होगा, राइट? अगेंस्ट दैट जैसे तत्काल लॉरी है, तत्काल लॉरी जैसा सर्विस नहीं है, वो स्केलेबल प्राइमरी रीजन इसीलिए है क्योंकि हमारी जैसी दूसरी कोई सर्विस प्रोवाइडर नहीं है, right? So, one is that product market fit that you would need to see for logistics. Ki if it makes sense, if it's the right thing to do, and so on and so forth. And secondly, in the industry, जिसके आप logistics में घुस रहे हो, please have an industry insider. That is how it becomes easier for you to gain client. So अगर आप एग्रीकल्चरल लॉजिस्टिक्स में घुस रहे हो तो वो जरूरी है कि आप फार्मर्स को जानते हो, या आप किसी ऐसे इंसान को जानते हो जो फार्मर के कार्टल को जानता हो, राइट? अगर आप टेलीविजन या इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स की लॉजिस्टिक्स में घुस रहे हो तो यू नीड टू नो समवन हु हैज बीन इन द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक बिजनेस फॉर इयर्स. That is how it becomes easier to tap the market. The reason I found it easier to tap the market is because I got in partners who had tiles logistics experience very specifically, and I used my network to get them. So be shameless about it. Go to your parents. I don't care. Just get the work done, man. Just get people and start put your idea in place. देखो बेहतर है कि तुम 1,000 रुपए का 10% पकड़ो, जो कि 100 रुपए होगा, रादर देन कि 10 रुपए की तुम्हारी कंपनी बना के रखो और वो ग्रोथ नहीं ले रही है और वो 10 की 10 पे ही रहे, तो उसका 100 का 100% भी 10 रुपए ही है. समझ लेना ये बात. बहुत सिंपल सा थॉट है, बट ये बहुत इम्पैक्टफुल होता है व्हेन यू गेट आउट इन द मार्केट एंड यू वांट टू कन्वर्ट एन आइडिया इनटू अ बिजनेस. सो या, do not worry about equity. People worry a lot about equity. Make something out of it ना, otherwise वो equity तुम्हारी है और उसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है.
मतलब वो फिर इक्विटी की भी वैल्यू तभी तक है ना जब तुम एक्चुअली में फंडिंग उठाने जा रहे हो और तुम्हारे को एक्चुअली में पैसा मिलेगा जब वीसीज में इन्वेस्ट करेंगे.
VCs, angels, जो भी, उनको भी तो टीम चाहिए होती है. वो तुम्हारे just because you have an idea doesn't mean they would invest, right?
Absolutely. We can have like another session entirely focused around VC funding, etc.
Very true.
So you're a bootstrap startup, right?
Yeah.
So you've never raised funds till date?
No, never. We have partners who are working and who invest, and obviously
Okay. Right. I personally have an inclination towards startup who are fully bootstrapped. So much respect.
It's very difficult.
Yeah,
it's very difficult. I won't deny that. Surviving is tough, but yeah, we manage. But that is where if bootstrap startups have like gone for like a decade or so, that essentially means that they know their shit. They know what they're doing. They know the leakages. They know कि कैसे run करना है, कितना team का. They will not do anything arbitrarily. They know how the industry works. So उनको पता है. And 10 साल survive करना bootstrap होकर बहुत difficult है, बहुत ज़्यादा difficult है.
Yeah. I think you'll be completing your 10 years in 2026.
Yeah, 3 more years to go. 7 we have done. We've completed 7. So on our way. Thank you.
बहुत अच्छा, और ग्रो जर्नी आपकी एकदम ऊपर ही.
Yes, I hope.
So this brings us to the end of the podcast. But जाने से पहले share us important entrepreneurship lessons from your journey.
Be resilient. Extremely resilient. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but I promise it'll be worth it. Second thing is, and I think ये बहुत नजरअंदाज कर दिया जाता है, but ये बहुत जरूरी है, that you have a very nurturing and a caring community around you, because the journey is very lonely. People will not get it. Sometimes your closest will not get it, but you need to have people who will take care of you, who will hold you up, who will cheer you on, who will tell you that you're doing a good job, continue with there, don't worry about it. A community will help you go such a long way. And lastly, this is what my papa says, and I always believe in it, and I live on that rule. He says, वक्त है गुजर जाएगा रास्ते से रास्ता निकल जाएगा.
So beautiful.
And so as hard as your journey might get, just keep on taking decision, take bold decision. If one decision does not work out, take the next decision. It will work out somewhere. It will work out, or you'll learn. Yeah, so those are my learnings, and I hope they help anyone and everyone who listens.
Absolutely. I mean, not just for people who want to get into logistics, but anybody who's starting out, trying to build their business, starting out entrepreneurship. I think these are core lessons that works for every business or for every B2B or B2C business. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for doing this, Nikita Di. Really happy. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. इतने दिनों बाद जो है हमने फाइनली कर लिया.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I know we finally made a call and we did it. काफी back and forth हुआ, but yeah, I'm so proud of us.
Right. Bye bye. Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye. Thank you. Bye.